The Center for Accountability and Transparency, CAAT, has called for an investigation into Matrix Oil's importation of blended crude oil, alleging violation of international sanctions on Russian oil. Speaking at the press conference, convener Okwa Dan claims Matrix Oil's actions have caused economic sabotage, environmental pollution, and health risks to Nigerians. The group alleges that Matrix Oil imported adulterated petroleum products from Malta, resulting in the $2.8 billion bill for Nigeria in 2023 alone. Dan adds that the company's actions violate international sanctions on Russian crude oil, which could lead to diplomatic crisis for Nigeria. CAAT urged the Economic Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to arrest and prosecute those involved in the alleged economic sabotage. The group also called on the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission (FCCPC) to investigate Matrix Oil for causing harm to consumers and the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency (NESREA) to assess the environmental impact on the tainted oil products. Furthermore, CAAT requested that a price gap coalition comprising the G7, the European Union, and Australia impose targeted sanctions on Matrix Oil and its officials for violating sanctions against Russia.
Recall the ongoing outrage in which certain persons across the vice colluded to import dirty petrol from Malta. They committed the country to a whopping $2.8 billion bill in payment of Malta in 2023 alone, compared to $13.32 million in 2026, and between 2016 and between 2017 and 2022, when there was no import from that European nation. A punishment of this is that those behind the importation should be charged with offenses greater than economic sabotage. The case against them should be expanded to include attempted murder because the damage to environment and the toxic fumes is a killer. The oil products imported from Malta by this company are also dirty on the ethical level because it is the product of the violation of international sanctions imposed on Russia to deter it from waging an unjust war on a sovereign nation, Ukraine. The Center for Accountability and Transparency is calling on the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to arrest and prosecute every one of those that have committed the heinous act of economic sabotage and violated the international sanctions imposed on the crude oil of Russian origin. We further invite the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission to investigate Matrix Energy Limited, since the dirty fuel it distributed in the country has caused harm to consumers in different forms, including economic losses occasioned by damaged automobiles and generators. The National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NESRE, must similarly look into the impact of these tainted oil products on the environment to cause the cessation of further importation of such, to make the culprit behind it face relevant punishments. Finally, gentlemen of the press, we urge the price cap coalition comprising the G7, the European Union, and Australia to activate targeted sanctions against Matrix Energy Limited and all its officials and accomplices for violating the sanctions against Russia.